Welcome to the Deep Dive. We take sources, find the core insights, and give you that shortcut to expertise. Today, no killers. We're tracking something else. Pure psychological gamesmanship.
That's right. It's about the brilliant, really quite convoluted ingenuity of a wealthy Australian land speculator.
And this speculator had some pretty firm ideas about women, didn't he? Like, they should stick a dairy work.
Exactly. In this case, the missing will, it's not really a crime in the usual sense. It's more like a battle of wits, a challenge set up from beyond the grave.
Designed to test his heir's thinking against his own sort of practical, street-smart cunning.
Precisely.
And the heir is Miss Violet Marsh. Our sources paint her as, well, the quintessential new woman. Tall, handsome, businesslike.
Yes, punctual, plainly dressed, but neat, and crucially highly educated.
All right. Scholarship, Girton College, Bachelor of Science degree.
And that is the heart of the conflict. Her uncle, Andrew Marsh, who made a fortune in land speculation back in Australia, he had this deep-seated skepticism about book learning.
But they were close otherwise.
Apparently so, yes. But this difference in philosophy, it was a major point of contention. When Violet chose university, Uncle Andrew apparently said something like, "Ugh.
You fancy your brains, my girl. I'll pit mine against yours any day. We'll see what we shall see." Ouch.
Yeah. So our mission today is to unpack the will he left. It's incredibly elaborate, almost like a booby trap.
And we need to follow Hercule Poirot's path through it. All the red herrings, the moments of doubt.
Right up to the final, quite brilliant breakthrough.
Okay, let's dig into the terms of this contest. The will itself sounds like a total setup. What exactly did it say?
Well, it stated that Crabtree Manor, the house and everything in it, was Violet's to use for 1 year.
Just 1 year.
1 year. And the will specifically says, during which time my clever niece may prove her wits.
Prove her wits?
By finding a later superseding will. If she couldn't find one within that year, the entire fortune, which was significant, would go to various charities.
So basically, figure it out or lose everything. Hospitals get rich if she fails.
Pretty much. But Violet's reaction is interesting. She sees it as a sporting challenge.
Doesn't contest it.
No. Instead, she does something very modern, very strategic. She hires an expert immediately, Poirot. She assumes his ingenuity will top hers.
Which is a smart play, actually. Should definitely circle back to that.
Absolutely. That decision is key. Now, about that first will, the one setting the challenge, it holds a critical clue.
Okay, what is it?
The timestamp. Poirot notes it was drawn up on a printed form, not by a lawyer, very practical, very Marsh, and witnessed by the caretakers, Mr. and Mrs. Baker.
Right, the Bakers. And the time. You said that was important.
Crucial. The will, currently in effect, is dated March 25th at precisely 11 a.m.
11 a.m. Why is that so suggestive, as Poirot calls it?
Because it drastically narrows the search. If another valid will exists, it must be dated later that same day. Even half an hour later would invalidate the 11 a.m. one.
Ah, I see. So the search isn't just for a will. It's for a will made after 11 a.m. on March 25th. The time is the first filter.
Exactly. It's about time, not just location, at least initially.
Okay, so Poirot and Hastings head down to Crabtree Manor. What's the place like, specifically the study?
The sources describe it as almost obsessively organized. Marsh's study/living room, neat papers, all filed, labeled keys, china arranged just so.
Extreme order. And that's important because...
Like, it makes the first anomaly stick out like a sore thumb. Poirot's admiring this, near military precision, labeled keys for drawers, cabinets.
Yeah.
And then he gets to the key for the roll-top desk.
It's different.
Tied to it is this dirty, greasy envelope.
A dirty envelope in this super organized room.
Exactly. Scrawled on it are the words key of roll-top desk in handwriting, totally unlike Marsh's usual neat style. It's messy, crabbed handwriting.
It sounds wrong. The only messy thing in a perfect room, Poirot calls it an alien note.
It's a massive red flag, a total flaw in the system Marsh created.
Okay, wait. If it's such an obvious red flag, a messy note in a tidy room, why doesn't Poirot immediately zoom in on that?
Because Marsh was clever. He'd already laid a false trail, a much more exciting, complex one. Through the Baker's testimony, Poirot interviews them. They confirm signing 2 will forms that day.
2 forms? Why 2?
Marsh apparently told them it was for safety-like. They clearly remember signing the first one right at 11 a.m. Mrs. Baker remembers because the milk boiled over.
Okay, 11 a.m., milk boiling over. Got it. Then what?
About an hour later, Marsh calls them back in. Says he made a mistake on the first one, tore it up, so they signed the second form.
Which is the current 11 a.m. will. So he tore up an 11 a.m. will and had them sign another 11 a.m. will. That feels circular.
It does. And crucially, right after they signed that second 11 a.m. will, Marsh did something specific.
What?
He went out to the village to pay tradesmen's books.
Okay. Paying bills seems mundane.
Poirot thinks so too at first. He dismisses it because Mrs. Baker mentions something else.
The red herring.
The red herring. She reminds her husband about workmen from Plymouth who did repairs, about 2.5 years earlier. They worked in the study, but Marsh was very secretive about it. Wouldn't let the Bakers watch.
Secret workmen. Hidden compartments.
Exactly what Poirot thinks. He connects the secrecy, the possibility of a torn-up will. It leads him straight to Plymouth to track down these workmen.
Okay, so he follows his lead. Does he find them?
He does. Finds the firm, finds the specific man, Cogan, who did the work.
And Cogan confirms it.
Oh, yeah. Confirms he built a hidden cavity under a brick in the old fireplace. Very clever mechanism. Press the second brick from the end, and part of the hearth raises silently.
Wow. Marsh really went all out on the secret compartment idea. This sounds like the answer.
It feels like it. Marsh's mechanical genius, designed to fool anyone searching. Poirot must be thrilled.
So he goes back, presses the brick, and finds the real will.
He presses the brick. The mechanism works perfectly. And inside.
Yes.
Nothing. Well, almost nothing. Just a single charred fragment of stiff paper.
Charred. Burned.
Burned. With just enough left to see part of Baker's signature.
So, Marsh built this amazing hiding place just to burn the second will in it.
It seems so. The hidden will was destroyed. The challenge will, the 11 a.m. one, stands. Violet loses. Poirot is, completely stumped. Consternation, as the source says.
Wow. So the complex, hard-to-find spot was basically a theatrical trash bin. The great detective completely fooled by a guy who didn't even like books. That must have stung.
Oh, immensely. He's genuinely defeated. Calls himself, I think the quote is, a 36 times imbecile. He gives up, boards the train back to London.
Defeated. But this is Poirot. There has to be a turnaround.
There is. And it's classic Poirot. The train is literally pulling out of the station at Taunton.
Yeah.
And suddenly he lets out this piercing squeal of realization, hits himself on the head.
What was it? What tiny detail did he suddenly remember?
The completely mundane detail he dismissed earlier, Marsh going out to the village to pay tradesmen's books.
Paying the bills. That was the key. Now,
think about the timing. The only will known to exist was signed at 11 a.m. Marsh couldn't have legally signed anything before that moment.
Okay.
But by going out immediately after signing the 11 a.m. will, he created a window of opportunity, an hour or so where he was away from the Bakers.
and potentially meeting new witnesses.
Exactly. He established a false time frame with the torn-up will story, directed the search towards a complex physical hiding place.
When the real answer was about a simple gap in time and a change of location, well, that's clever.
Incredibly clever. So cue the frantic return. Poirot races back to Crabtree Manor. Hastings probably struggling to keep up.
And this time, he ignores the fireplace.
Yeah.
Ignores the desk drawers.
Ignores it all. He goes straight for that one alien note. The dirty envelope tied to the desk key, the thing that broke the pattern of Marsh's neatness.
The thing hidden in plain sight because it looked like trash.
The item Marsh knew would likely be overlooked because it seemed so out of place, so unimportant in that meticulously tidy room.
But how do you hide a will on a small, dirty envelope? There can't be much space.
Poirot carefully cuts it open, lays it flat. He then lights a fire and holds the inside surface of the envelope towards the heat.
Sympathetic ink?
Sympathetic ink, or rather a clever blend of disappearing and sympathetic ink.
Yeah.
Marsh wrote the real will on the inside. Once the ink dried or the volatile components evaporated, it would just look like a blank, maybe slightly grubby inside of an envelope.
Utterly insignificant until you apply heat.
Right. And as Poirot holds it to the fire, faint characters begin to appear.
The real will. What does it say?
Very simple. It leaves everything unconditionally to his niece, Violet Marsh.
Everything. No challenge.
No challenge. Just leaves her the lot. And the crucial part, the date and time.
That's a bit later than 11 a.m.
March 25th, 12:30 p.m. An hour and a half after the challenge will, making this one legally supersede the other.
12:30 p.m. and the witnesses.
Albert Pike, confectioner, and Jessie Pike, his wife. The people Marsh must have met when he went out to pay tradesmen's books.
Oh my goodness. He used the trip to the village to get new, valid witnesses for a will written in invisible ink on a bit of trash tied to a key. That is, audacious. Practical, but audacious.
It's peak Andrew Marsh. Use a complex mechanical trick as the shiny distraction.
While hiding the actual solution in the most mundane, visible, yet disguised spot imaginable.
Exactly. Which brings up a practical point, though. Is a will written like that, in sympathetic ink on an old envelope, actually legal?
That's a good question. It feels like it could be challenged.
It probably could be. But this links back to Marsh's whole attitude, his dismissal of formality, of book learning. The first will, the challenge, looked formal, printed form, and all that.
Right.
The real will relied purely on legal intent and the proper witnessing procedure. Poirot argues the intent is crystal clear, leave everything to his only relative, and the witnesses are validly recorded.
So the law cares more about the witnessed intent and the date time than the unusual medium.
Pretty much. The witnessing procedure, the date proving it's later, those are the legal linchpins. Marsh bet that the sheer weirdness of the hiding method would make a searcher overlook the simple legal validity.
Okay, let's loop back to Violet. Marsh challenged her education, her book smarts. How does Poirot frame her victory here? Did she prove him wrong?
Poirot argues she absolutely did. She proved the value of her BSc, not by getting her hands dirty digging up fireplaces,
But by immediately recognizing the complexity and hiring the best possible expert. Strategic thinking.
Exactly. She didn't waste time on a potentially fruitless search based on guesswork. She assessed the problem and deployed the best resource. She used her intellect, the very thing Marsh questioned, to manage the situation effectively.
So she won the challenge by essentially outsourcing it smartly. That proves her wits in a modern context.
Precisely. The uncle set a trap. He didn't just want her to find it. Maybe he wanted her to think like the educated woman she fought to become. And she did, by hiring Poirot.
It really shows how sometimes the most elaborate deceptions are just there to distract us from the simple, maybe slightly grubby truth right in front of our noses.
The complex fireplace hid nothing. The simple, dirty envelope hid everything.
So quick recap. Uncle Andrew sets a challenge based on an 11 a.m. will. Poirot gets distracted by a secret compartment red herring. The breakthrough comes from realizing the significance of a mundane errand paying bills. That errand provided the time and witnesses for the real will, written in sympathetic ink on that dirty envelope dated 12:30 p.m.
A brilliant piece of practical misdirection.
Which leaves us with a final thought for you to consider. Andrew Marsh seemed to value critical thinking, maybe even cunning, above all. Violet won by using her modern, educated skill identifying the need for and employing an expert. So did she truly win using the book learning her uncle scoffed at? Or did she win by smartly sidestepping the direct challenge through delegation? Is hiring the expert the ultimate proof of wits?
Something to think about. Did she outthink him directly or strategically?
A great place to leave it. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into Andrew Marsh's ingenious puzzle and Poirot's sharp mind. We'll see you next time.